Good morning, everybody. It is Wednesday morning, March 23rd. If you're looking for current events today, you're not going to find it here because I can't find any current events worth talking about at the moment. So I'm going to talk about what I have been binge watching on YouTube. I recently found, I guess it's called Off Grid with Doug and STACY. And I'll tell you what, this chick, STACY, knows her stuff. And I cannot stop watching her. They've been around for a long, long time. I'm just going to give you kind of a short version of who they are in order to tweak your interest to maybe go check them out. They lived in the city. About 13 years ago, they decided they were going to move off grid. And when I say they live off grid, they live off grid. No public utilities. They built a little log cabin. They grow all their own food. She said they grow about 90% of their own food. And she is a wealth of knowledge. It's like following your grandma around with 80 years of knowledge, except she's a couple years older than me, I think. And she lives the life that she talks about. And yesterday I found kind of like a video that explained who she was and how she got as knowledgeable as she did. And I posted that on my Telegram channel because I kept watching the channel trying to figure out so many things about this couple. What I found out was they live somewhere in Missouri, and they live near a bunch of Amish people. But they are not Amish, although Doug dresses like he's Amish. And I'm still trying to figure that one out because that one confuses me, but maybe it's just because he likes how they dress and he has his beard like them. But I am 99% sure that they are not Amish. But they talk about a lot of the things that the Amish people do, and it's super fascinating because you can't learn what the Amish people do because they won't post anything like that on YouTube with all the information that they do. So anyway, it's kind of like an in-between thing, and I really like watching her. She does recipes, and she will like rattle off these fruits and vegetables, and it's vitamin this and vitamin that and vitamin this and vitamin that, and it does this for your body. And if you're having problems sleeping, I mean, she just like, it's like all up in here, and she is amazing. So anyway, I would like to encourage you to go watch Off Grid with Doug and STACY. I am not interested in living off grid, but I am interested in learning how to heal my body with fruits and vegetables that are clean and how to bring that into my life more. You might be able to see I have started growing. I have broccoli seeds growing. I have like little seed sets all over the place, and I don't have enough light in my apartment, and it's like dark and gloomy out yesterday and today. So all of my seeds that have started growing are struggling for the light. So with that being said, I'm going to back up to the last video that I did last Friday. There is relevance to this, I promise. So last Friday, I was talking about the difference between the electric battery and the oil and which was better and this and that and the other. And what I did not know, what I haven't seen or have had proven to me, this was hearsay by something two people posted on the comments, was that oil redoes itself, or whatever word that is, like every 5 years. I remember when I was in 5th grade, Mr. Gifford, he was our principal, but he was also our science teacher. And there are certain things in your life that you remember from grade school that never ever forget you, and this is one of them. So I remember in science class, we're talking about how oil is made and, you know, leaves and trees decaying and everything, and that's how oil is made, and that we were probably going to run out because it just couldn't keep up with the usage. This would have been in 1975. And I remember saying, Well, maybe if we stop burning leaves, that will help, we can have those to decay and that can help with the oil supply. And he's like, oh, no. That takes millions of years for that to decay and for it to turn into oil. That has been in my brain since I was in 5th grade. And then when I do that video on Friday and I have 2 people bring up the fact that the oil repopulates itself, that's not the right word, but I can't think of what the word is right at the moment, that it does that like every 5 years, I was like, what the hell? I mean, that kind of blew my mind, because that is, again, a rabbit hole I have not gone down. I spent the majority of my life trying to understand love and relationships. The problem was I was trying to understand love and relationships in, I guess you could say, the 3D world. So, I learned a bunch of stuff for nothing, maybe. I don't know. Whatever the case, I called one of my subscribers Friday night because she was one of the ones that brought that up. And I was like, how did you know that? Where did you get that information? And I told her my story from 5th grade and how I didn't know that. And she's like, well, Russia, apparently, they have a lot of information that they don't block from the public. And there's several articles and different things where they have redid it in English. And she's like, after she awakened, she did a lot of deep dives on all kinds of stuff. She has got so much information in her brain. I am highly encouraging her to start a YouTube channel, because she's kind of like Stacy. She has a wealth of knowledge in her, and if she doesn't get that out of her system, it's going to go to waste. Yes, I am talking to you. You know who I'm talking about. So, anyhow, we were talking on Friday night about just different stuff, and I was telling her about, she brought up the word timelines or something, and I was telling her I've had several things disappear in my apartment. I don't live with anybody. I do not have cats, dogs. I don't have animals. There should not be anything disappearing in my apartment. But I've had a spatula, a kitchen spatula, that I have had probably for 30 years since I bought got into my first apartment and started buying my, kitchen stuff. And it was my favorite one because it was the right size, the right thickness. It was my favorite one over another one that I have. It disappeared within the last couple of weeks. And oddly enough, 2 bags of chocolate chips that I was eating on that I had combined and stuck in another little plastic bag, those have disappeared. So I was telling her, I'm like, I don't know what the deal is about things disappearing in my apartment. I have looked all over the place for both of those things. And a few months ago, I had that bottle of On Guard that just disappeared on me. And she was talking about, we change timelines all the time. And we got to talking about timelines. And so Friday night, I think, when I went to bed, I started trying to move myself forward on different timelines. I was trying to move myself forward in a timeline where I had space to grow more fruits and vegetables besides doing this on my stove and my little bit of balcony out in the apartment, outside, and trying to manifest or get on a timeline where I could have my big jars of dried herbs and everything and have a space to put them all. And so I am trying to get on a timeline where love doesn't hurt. And so anyway, I had a whole list of things that I was like trying to move myself to a different timeline. And I get this message yesterday from one of my friends, and I mean, it was bizarre, because she said, I just need to tell you this, blah, 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 blah. And if this happens, blah, 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 I might have to sign a non-disclosure a non-disclosure, whatever, an NDA. And if this happens, blah, 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 blah. And I'm like, I need to call you because we need to talk. And part of what she said was, if I get my hands on some land like I want, I would like for you to be able to grow some of your herbs and everything and help with that, do whatever with that. And that was some of the stuff I was trying to manifest or trying to jump timelines over the weekend. And then she shoots me that message yesterday, and I was just like, what the hell? So I called her, and she goes, yeah, man, that was really strange. She goes, I was like compelled to send you that message. And it was just weird. And it was just, so I think that like I was starting to do some of that timeline jumping. It was like showing its face. So I don't know if anybody else wants to try anything like that. It felt very positive the way I was doing it. It was like, I'd like to be on the timeline where this is happening. I'd like to be on the timeline where this is happening. I'd like to be on the timeline where this is happening. It wasn't because I was going at it from lack. It was just like I was like mentally trying to move myself to a timeline where I had, again, more space to grow herbs and stuff for healing purposes for other people. The space to do it, because I am like busting at the seams in this apartment. I can't even see straight. And just different things. You know, we all have a different list of things that we would like to have in our life. But I've really started thinking about, you know, when I did that video the other day about the our big or small little visions that we have for the humanitarian project, I really started kind of focusing is like, well, if that's what I want to do, I'm like, I need to be on that timeline, and the sooner the better, because, you know, I'm like wasting daylight here. Anyway, I think that's kind of what this rambly message is about. Is one, I just want you to go watch Doug and Stacy, Off Grid with Doug and Stacy. I will post one of their videos or share it or something in the comments so you can find that if you're interested. I'm not necessarily interested in watching a lot of the stuff that Doug does, but I am very interested in seeing what Stacy does, because again, she is amazing. And there's another little gal that stands in, I'm gonna sound like I'm talking about myself. I am not. But there's another lady that stands in her kitchen, and she talks about a lot of this stuff. She's so boring, and I just cannot get into watching her videos because I'm like, I feel like she doesn't practice what she preaches. And Stacy practices what she preaches, and she is like living proof of why this stuff works. So anyhow, I'm just going to leave it at that. And if any of you guys watch them, I would love to hear, because now I need to like go, oh my God, did you see that video? Blah, blah, blah. So anyway, I hope it's not gloomy and dreary at your place like it is in Indiana today, but have a fabulous day anyway, and I will talk to you again soon. Bye.